everybody, and welcome back to the United Stand. Your match day starts here on Countdown to Kickoff. I am Beth. I am joined with Mordzs. We have got some very special guests coming up in today's show. I'll give you one thing as kind of a little bit of a clue as to what's coming up.
Yeah.
And if for all of our audio listeners, I'm currently touching my hair. That's something that you can kind of think about of what guests we've got coming up. We've also got a United fan calling in on the way to the Nottingham Forest, the City ground, which is going to be really exciting to see how they're getting on, get a vibe of the atmosphere. We've got a Nottingham Forest fan calling in, and we, of course, have you as a community joining us for all the live polls, for all the interaction, predicting the lineup, and we cannot wait to get into it. Can Ruben Amorim get 4 games in a row, 4 wins in a row? Let's see. Mordzs, welcome. How are the vibes?
We've got a packed show. I didn't realise how packed it was until you mentioned it.
It's so packed.
You've got so much going on, but I'm feeling confident. I'm confident in this. And you know, I'm usually the optimistic fan anyway, but I don't know, like, there's just something in the air. It's an away game. Forest ain't really nothing to be too worried about. Maybe last season, but this season, I think we can take it. I don't see why not.
Everyone is coming in super confident to this game. It's making me nervous.
I know.
Because every time we're going into it like, oh, maybe, we usually do well. And every time we go into a game confident, it's like, oh, that's not how I expected things to go.
Yeah.
I do think it's a tough test. I really do. I do think we'll win. Get in the comments what you guys will think. We've got a live poll running, win, lose or draw, so make sure you get your votes into that poll and let us know how you're feeling. I think the overall match day consensus from United fans is confidence, and do you know what? We have a right to be. We do have a right to be. Beat Sunderland, who are absolutely killing it at the minute. Beat Liverpool at Anfield, although everyone seems to be beating them at the minute. That's the easiest one out of the 3.
Literally.
And then Brighton at Old Trafford, who have had our number for years. We've gone and beat them. Our players are in form. We're looking good. We have a right to be confident. But it is Sean Dyche's first game at home as the manager for Nottingham Forest. His first game at the City ground.
Yeah.
So the atmosphere will be up.
Yeah, I can understand for a Forest fan. Obviously, I'm not a Forest fan, but they're probably a bit conflicted right now because obviously they've got this new manager. He went and they beat Porto in the Europa League, which was a great win, and then they came up to the Premier League and then they lost. So it's like, but I think they lost to Spurs. Was it Spurs?
No, it was Bournemouth.
Bournemouth they lost to, yeah.
Bournemouth are a very good side, by the way, guys.
Bournemouth are a good team, so it's like, what are they expecting? I really want to know later on when we speak to the Forest fan. What are they kind of expecting from this game? Because we all know what Sean Dyche is like. He's obviously come in to kind of steady the ship, get them a few points on the board, just make them a little bit more confident in the team. So he might just come very defensive on some, you know what, we just want at least a point. That's what we want. Or he might come and he might just completely just throw everything at us because it's his first home game and they want to get the win. So I'm sure like Forest fans are a bit confused as to how they're going to play today. But I'm still confident in the fact that we've won 3 games, this could be our 4th game in a row, and then next week 5 games can be crazy. I think we can get the win today.
I feel like the odds are in our favour a little bit because if you look at the last 5 results between Nottingham Forest and Manchester United, visual should be on screen, but if not, I will read it out for you guys. So April 1st, 2025, 1-0 loss. Before that, in the Premier League, 3-2 loss for Manchester United. Last one before that was the FA Cup. That was a 1-0 win. Casemiro, remember that goal? Before that, 2-1 loss in the Premier League, and then before that, a 3-2 win in the Premier League for Manchester United. So our last 3 Premier League games against Nottingham Forest have been a loss. And do you know how long because it's surely the tide's going to turn. It can't be 4. Because the last time it was 4 more. Do you know how many years ago that was?
That's a good question.
Off the top of your head?
About 115 years.
Surely he's not got that right.
There's no way I've got that right.
Someone check it. Someone double check it. Might be 115 years ago that it's been 4 losses in the Premier League, top flight. We'll call it top flight.
Yeah.
For Manchester United in the top division, for them to have that 4 losses in the Premier League on the bounce. So today we're coming into the game off a winning run. You know, it could be 4 wins in a row. And, 115 years ago was the last time it was 4 losses in the Premier League on the bounce. So that gives me a bit of hope. That's why I say the odds are in our favour, because surely the pendulum's got to swing this time.
Swing, yeah. Well, I've got a question though. When was the last, because I was speaking to my friend, I went to football the other day, and obviously my friend is a United fan, and he was saying that like the last time he's felt this confident in the team was Ollie. like that early Ollie time when we were kind of winning loads of games. And I remember Rio did the whole thing where it's like, put the contract on the table, give it. Yeah, that was probably the last time that he felt he'd been this confident in Man United to go and win multiple games. So my question is obviously to you guys as well. When was the last time you actually felt this confident in the team, that you actually felt, you know what, we've gone 3 games on the bounce, we could make it 4, we could make it 5 next week? When was the last time you felt like that?
I've got a moment in time.
Okay, go on.
And take me back. I think it was 2024. We beat Barcelona in the Europa League.
Anthony
and Fred, the goats of Manchester United. And I think we went on that winning streak where we won 4 in the bounce. I mean, we beat West Ham, I think, we beat Wolves. There was other games in there, I can't exactly remember, but that period of time, I think it was February 2024-ish, and I just thought, we're turning the corner.
We're back.
We went to the new camp with Wout Weghorst at 10 and we bossed him. Do you know what I mean?
That was a crazy game.
I was just thinking, that moment in time, I thought we could really kick on.
Yeah.
Trophies. I think we won the Carabao Cup. We just won the Carabao Cup.
2024, yeah.
Yeah, I think we just won the Carabao Cup as well. So maybe was that the year?
That was the year we were going to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, we were going to.
Yeah,
and it just all came crashing down. That's the last time I felt confident. What I will say to bring the positivity up is this is the first time since Amorim has been in charge of Manchester United where I've thought, you know what, this manager actually might be able to do something. And I've wanted him to be able to.
Yeah.
His time at Sporting showed me he could. And I loved everything about him. I loved, his background, the way he talks, the way he's handled the players off the pitch, taking the egos out the dressing room. All of that stuff, the signings, bringing Ahmad into the team after Ten Hag disregarded him when he's one of our best players. The Mbumo, the Cunhas, them sort of signings and his mannerisms, the way about him, I've really liked. But that Europa League final against Ange Postecoglou knocked me for 6. And he's not really been able to get a string of wins together. Now I'm looking at it, I'm like, not only are we winning, but the team is gelling. Everyone feels like a family. Lamens is fantastic. And we just feel like a solid unit with character. And this is the first time I thought, do you know what, Amorim, he might have it in him.
No, this is genuinely, like, you guys know how I felt about Amorim, but this is the first time, I agree with you, where I'm actually like, I'm a bit on the like similar to what you're saying, as in this is the most confidence that I've had in this team in a very, very long time, since probably before Ten Hag won the FA Cup. This is probably the most I've had, the most confidence I've had literally since then, and this is probably the one time where I thought, you know what, going into each game, we have a very, very good chance of winning. In fact, there was a point probably like a few weeks ago, like a couple of months ago, where I genuinely thought every game was going to be difficult. Every single game I thought in the Premier League we were going to struggle. Because of the way we were playing, it didn't seem like we were progressing a lot. But now that we've got these wins and the team have shown a lot of fight. I love the fact that, even in that Liverpool game, a lot of people say that we probably shouldn't have won that because of the amount of chances that they had. But the fact that we actually came out with the win and we managed to hold off kind of shows that they have that fight in them. And that's something that you don't get the opportunity to show that every single week, because you don't get to play a Liverpool every single week. But the fact that they showed it in that game, and in the Brighton game they came and showed it again, that fight to eventually hold off and get that win and get that last minute goal as well with Mbumo, it's just give a lot more encouragement into these players that, you know what, they can actually go out and win most games in the Premier League. Let me not say most, because I'm not going to put too much pressure, but they can win a lot of games in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, and today I actually do see us winning. It's Spurs next week, where I think that could really throw up a tough game for us. Spurs are where, they are our bogey team in a way, really. And we've really struggled against them in recent times. That Europa League final still haunts me, and they're looking like a really good outfit under Thomas Frank. Competitors for Champions League football for us this year, absolutely. Forest will be difficult, and I don't think we'll blow them away the way that some people think we will. I hope we do. But these sort of teams that do sit a little bit deeper, can defend really well, that they're going to test us. They are going to test us. It's going to be really, really interesting. I mean, just on that, quickly, I do want to say it was 2023, not 2024. Okay. 2023, we won the Carabao Cup. It was 2024, we won the FA Cup. That period in 2023, that was the time. Was
that when Rashford was just scoring bare goals?
Yeah. It was that season that I just thought, you know what, we could be onto something. I think we finished third in the Prem that year. That was the last time I felt this way about United. But in hindsight 2020, now I do think we actually have like really strong signings coming into the team and strong players in there. But let us know your thoughts on that. I mean, just quickly, Mordzs, I wanted to ask you, Sean Dyche is going to set up differently to, the teams that we've played in recent times, of the Brighton, the Liverpool, and Thomas Frank will in aspects as well. Are you worried or nervous to see how United play against a team that maybe is going to sit a bit deeper and not give us as much space in behind for Mbeumo to run in and for us to make them long balls successful?
I wouldn't say I'm worried about it. Because we should be able to go against these teams, especially a team like Nottingham Forest. They've had a pretty poor start to the season. They've already sacked the manager. They sacked the manager. They sacked two. No, they sacked two managers already.
They sacked two. They're on the third manager this season.
They're on the third manager. I got confused and I was thinking, have they not sacked Nuno and yeah. So they're clearly in a bit of a. Well, they've had a pretty crazy season already to start off with, so I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I think it's going to be interesting to see the direction that we go in, because a lot of the times that we have tried to go along, of recent games, is because we struggle to play at the back, and I think Amorim's kind of seen that, and he's adapted the way how he's told his defenders to play, and he's like, you know what, just go along, win the second balls, and at least we can develop play in the middle of the pitch. Whereas now it's like, I highly doubt Forest are going to be pressing us as high as Liverpool are pressing us, as high as Brighton are pressing us. Forest are probably going to sit back in like a strict 4-4-2 and just soak up the pressure.
4-4.
Yeah, just in the most, Big Sam, Sean Dyche kind of style of football, and just make it very difficult. So I do want to see how we build up play, how we play out from the back, and how this team does eventually progress the ball and work goals instead of just trying to kick it long and kind of, work it in behind and use plays like Mbeumo and Sesko. But now we can actually see maybe our midfielders get on the ball a lot more. We can see maybe Mbeumo or let's say Cunha starts, him drop in and get hold of the ball and try and make things tick a little bit. We can see maybe even, let's just say for example, Yoro starts or Luke Shaw starts, see them drive into midfield with the ball and just see a different style of play that we haven't seen in recent games.
Well, it's interesting actually, because Amorim did say in his press conference on the direct build-up that he's been doing recently. He said, I don't believe that we have a style where we always have to build up from the back. We want to build up to push the opponent and have space to score goals. If the space is there, if the numbers are there, it's a numbers game. If there is 3 against 3 in the front and I have Benjamin Sesko, Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, then I will put the ball in 2 passes. I want to score goals in 2 passes, but sometimes you've got to build up. What I try and teach my players is, which kind of game do I need to play in this situation? That is my job. I don't want to teach my players to build up with a lot of touches, and then if you need a lot of touches, you understand that you do need a lot of touches. If you need 1, put the long ball in, because the fans want to see a different game. And then we are in England. I try and show you a little bit of English football in the past. I don't have a clear way of build up. I look at the space, the number of the players, the characteristics of my players, and try to use that to win games. So what he's essentially saying here is, depending on the opponent, I will change the way that I build up. Like, the principles are the same, the shape, the way that he's shaping up in terms of getting behind the ball and in defensive transitions is the same, but my build-up play is going to differ depending on the setup that is brought to me. And that's why it's interesting that he name drop Benjamin Sesko in there. There's a lot of conversation on whether Benjamin Sesko will drop out of the team for Mount today. If he does need a little bit more build-up play, perhaps that'll be so. We'll have to wait and see. But I think that's a really interesting little bit of insight from Ruben Amorim into what to expect today. Maybe don't expect the long ball. If Sean Dyche is sitting a little bit with Forest, which I expect he will do, maybe expect to see a few more passes in that build-up play, and that might mean different characteristics in the players that he picks. Let's see. Yeah.
Literally what I was saying before about, like, we are going to talk about the team later on, but bringing in a player like maybe like a Euro, bringing in different players who are just better on the ball in the defence, because that's really where you are going to build up the play. You're going to try and pass it around, through De Ligt and into Euro, into Luke Shaw, and work it into Bruno, into Casemiro, and they're going to have a little bit more time on the ball now, because they're not going to be pressed as highly as they would have normally been pressed against other teams. So we are going to see a different style of play. But I think it's all positives, because it's not like they can't do it. They can do it. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be something different, and let's see if they can kind of prove that, because before that Anfield win, it was 8 away games under Amorim without a win. So we've got to kick on from there. Anfield is massive, and it does give you a lot of credit in the bank with United fans. But we do have to kick on with that and make sure we keep bolstering that record, because it was a bit of a poor one before that. We have the Ropers in the chat saying we must not underestimate our players to not turn up in these games, and every team playing United play like it's their World Cup game. Yeah, but that's something as a United player you got to take on. You got to relish in it, and I think the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo do. JB Zahar, a member for 15 months, thank you very much. And Ben says Nottingham will blow us, but from their knees on the ground? I don't know what that means. I don't know that. Oh. Why doesn't no one warn me about these sort of super chats? I'm just kind of like, you know what? I kind of understand that. Let's move on from that one.
Yep.
Let's move on from that one. But everyone in the room, make sure you smash a like on the video. Let us know how you are feeling. Yeah, I've seen. I get. Yeah.
I just read it now.
You get the context.
It's a poor one.
You get the context. Yeah, it's a poor one. Do you know what? At least. Oh God. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. And on that note, everyone, make sure you get your super chats in if you've got something to say, and make sure you smash the like on the video as well. This is a community show led by you, but we have now got a very exciting guest. Usually, you know, sometimes we get United fans outside Old Trafford. Today we wanted to see what the atmosphere is like over at the City Ground. So we have Webby joining on his way to go and watch Manchester United play Nottingham Forest at their ground. Webby, can you hear me? Webby?
Oh.
Maybe
not.
Maybe not. Maybe you can't hear. Do you know what this is what happens, guys? When people are travelling to and from the game, sometimes the connection cuts out. He's seen that. He's seen, right?
He's back.
He's seen that comment from Ben and thought, "Sat this." Yeah. Ben, I'm not getting involved with that. I mean, he might be back. Webby, can you hear me?
Yes,
Webby?
Just knock that down a bit for us. I'm struggling away.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he can hear me right now. Webby, can you hear me? No, I don't think so. I think we're going to have to leave Webby for now. Hopefully he can come back in to the show. But you know what? We tried. We tried to get the atmosphere. I think, you know, when you're travelling down to places, sometimes the connection can drop out. But how do you think the fans will be feeling on the way down there? Because they've been to a lot of away games, like I said before, Anfield, where it is loss after loss after loss, 8 away games without a win before the Anfield result. How do you think he'll be feeling?
Honestly, I'm genuinely not just saying this as a United fan. I think they're the best away fans in the country. And I'm not just saying that. I feel like every time that I watch a United game, an away game, I can always hear our fans the loudest, sometimes louder than their home fans. So I've got to give a lot of credit to the fans that are going down to the games. Sometimes these games are far, like if it's in Bournemouth or all the way up in Newcastle or whatever. These are long trips that these guys are taking, and they still bring that energy, and they are playing as that 12th man a lot of times in these games, and it does help the players on the pitch. So you got to give a lot of credit to the away fans, a lot of credit, because they really do their job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was going to say the atmosphere is going to be really loud at Forest for Sean Dyche. You know, they need this manager to succeed. They are in the relegation zone. That's where they are. I don't think they will get relegated, but it's a fear factor for them now. They've got some decent players. The atmosphere will be up, but I think we underestimate sometimes. I mean, I don't want to hear it, how much atmosphere our away fans bring in these games. It's like playing a home game for the United fans, because it's that loud. Oftentimes you can just hear the United fans there, so it is that's a benefit of having the away fans that we have. Kev in the chat laughing at me for falling for that. Apparently there was 2 of me on the screen. You lucky people getting to look at me twice. Kev in the room, he will be on the fans forum later. He's back. He's missed some good wins. Kev, I'm starting to think you need to...
Kev in a while.
Yeah, we've started winning. Kev's disappeared. He likes the therapy forums, I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm excited to have Kev on the forum later. But remember everyone, like I was saying, make sure you get your hot takes, anything you want to say, into the super chats. But speaking of hot takes, Mords, we have the viewers right now, and I wanted to let them into something that we do every Monday, which is after the game, it's been and gone, everyone's got a lot on their minds, and we put out on our socials, we want the community to send us their hot takes, and we discuss them. We discuss whether we agree with them or if we don't.
Some of them are crazy.
Some of them are absolutely crazy. We film it every Monday after the game. It's usually out early doors Tuesday morning. And I mean, depending where you are in the world, it might be, you know, late at night, Monday night for you. So you can tune in and see what the community is thinking and feeling. And sometimes you'll see a hot take and you're like, I didn't think of that, but wow. And it gets like the cogs turning. So it's nice to see. And I wanted to ask you, what was your favourite hot take from the weekend?
The last one, so there was a few, we always get similar ones every single week, to be fair, but one of them...
We don't?
No, as in like, a lot of them are like praising certain players, like praising Mbumo, praising like certain other players. But the one that we had last week that stuck with me was United are going to finish or win the league before Liverpool. Something like that. It was around that. Something to do with Liverpool and us kind of winning the league before them, or there's a higher chance of us winning the league. And obviously when I saw it, I thought, That's crazy to think. Liverpool, current champions, spent 500 million in a summer transfer window. But then when you look at our run of form, you look at their run of form, they're still losing games. Liverpool, they don't seem to be progressing. I don't know how long it's going to last for. They obviously are going to turn it around eventually. We'll see in it if they turn it around eventually. But United, there's a kind of a little bit of a strong chance that you never know. United could end up finishing higher than Liverpool this season, which will be crazy. But that is a good hot take.
Well, I wanted to give the audience watching a little bit of a flavour of what they can watch after the game when we do have the hot take. So let's see what we had to say this week.
Yeah.
So the next hot take is that United have more chance of winning the Premier League than Liverpool do this season.
Yeah, you know what? You're not speaking too crazy. And what I will say is, it won't be easy. I'm not going to say we are going to win the league because I still think Arsenal are the best team in the league. But if you're comparing us to Liverpool right now, we're in better form. I think our players are gelling a lot better. There's a lot of disputes at Liverpool right now. Some people are calling for Salah to not start. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of... Arne Slot doesn't seem like he's the same manager as he was last season. Their new signings don't seem to be taken off as quickly as they thought they would. So there's a lot going on, a lot of confusion going on at that club. Right now, United, we seem to be on the up and they seem to be on the down. So I think if you're to ask me right now, who could win the league first, I'm saying United.
Mordzs.
I'm being delusional. I'm being shameless. I'm outside of Old Trafford. I have to be.
So is it too soon because of where we are in the league? Because if you actually look at it on paper, people would say City are title contenders. They're on the same points as us. People would say Liverpool are title contenders. They're actually below us now in the league. But then you also got to bring yourself back down to earth. Sunderland above us. Much as I love them, and fair play to them, they're doing very, very well.
Yeah.
They're not going to win the league. Like, let's be real.
No, I mean, it'd be a great story.
I mean, it'd be a great story, but they're not. I think realistically, United's expectation this season, and I think our goal should be, and I'd be very, very happy with it, is top 5. Champions League football, I think, would be a brilliant season for Manchester United. In terms of what Manchester United should expect, of course, you want to be going for league titles, but from where this team was in 15th, that'd be a great achievement from where we started the league. Part of me does look back, though, and think, if we had Larmans in, from the first game of the season. If we actually had our ducks in a row from that first game of the season,
we had Larmans, we just didn't play him.
We actually could be up there. Okay, everyone, that was the hot take, and do you know what? I'm riding with it.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy. When I look at it now, if we go and win these next 2 games and Liverpool continue to lose, I don't know. I think it's not the craziest hot take. Do you think?
Well, we've got to go and win our game today first to put more pressure on. Arsenal are obviously leading the way right now, but what team do we pick to ensure that we go and beat Nottingham Forest last week, everyone? If you weren't here, first of all, why weren't you here? Because this is the best build-up show to any Manchester United game. You've got to be here and you've got to get involved as well so you can have your say, because we have polls and stuff that influence this, so you can actually influence what we're doing. But us, me and Mordzs and the community last week, we got our best ever prediction. We were one player away from the perfect predicted lineup. Can we get it spot on today? That is the question. The first poll I'm going to run to get going as the show progresses is Sesko or Mount. Let us know, Sesko or Mount, in the live poll. See what you guys think. And yeah, let's get into it, Mordzs.
Yeah, let's get into it. I mean, so starting off, we usually go from goalkeeper to striker, so let's go straight to the goalkeeper. I think we could do this pretty quickly, to be fair, because there aren't that many plays that I feel like is going to change from the last game. So, look, starting off with goalkeeper, I'm going to put Sonny Lamans. He's won every single game as a United player. He's undefeated as a United. Forget undefeated, he's won every single game.
There's no debate.
3 W's, you know what I mean? So, if he continues like this, technically, we're never going to lose a game even in net. So, I'm going to put him in the team. What are your opinions on Sonny Lamans? My
opinions on Sonny Lamans is, I think, he's just brilliant. It's life-changing. Thing is, I'm not coming on here and saying he's Donnarumma, but he looks like a really promising young keeper that has solidified this team. And do you know what? You've got to actually look at the stats. Before Sonny Lamans came in, Amorim's job was under pressure. Yeah. We weren't winning games consistently. We conceding silly goals. Since Sonny Lamans has been in, we have looked pretty strong in defence. We look like a more solid unit, and we're winning games. The stats speak for themselves. Yeah, no, you're right. And like I said, he has brought that assurance into the rest of the team and into that defence. I mean, we are a little bit more composed. We are a little bit more confident in that defence. You can see the players have noticed that as well. But one thing I will say about Sonny Lamans is I want to see a little bit more of his distribution playing out from the back, because we have been going long quite a bit. That's pretty much what he's been not forced to do, but that's pretty
pretty much what he's been told to do, to play a long ball. But I do want to see what it looks like when we're having to play in and around that back three with the goalkeeper, if that part of his game is also strong as well. So yeah, sending Lammin straight into the team. Let's go into the back three. I'm going to start off on the left-hand side this time because I feel like this is always just a shoe-in. It's always going to be Luke Shaw, let's be honest. Until the butcher comes back.
He's knocking on the door.
He's knocking on the door. He's back in team training.
We have this debate every week, but if he was fully fit, do you think he'd replace him right now?
Not straight away. Obviously not straight away. He is going to have to ease back into the team. He hasn't played football, like proper football, in a very long time. So, but I genuinely do think when he is back to full fitness and he has played a good level of minutes, I think he's got something in his team and that could maybe replace Luke Shaw. I'm going to say maybe, but I think more confidently he will. I know you disagree.
I think it's Luke Shaw's place to lose.
Yeah, of course, yeah, it is.
The only way that he does it right now, I think, is if Luke Shaw goes to left wing back. But I'm excited for Martinez to be back because it's a player that is a quality player that also isn't just a quality player, has good leadership skills, which I think what we really need in that team. And players are stepping up a bit more now. Cunha's kind of coming into that role where he's bringing that great passion, determination to the field, and Martinez gives that as well. But Luke Shaw goes in. I mean, Aiden Heaven had a great cameo when he came on, but I still would go with Luke Shaw. And then the other two pick themselves, don't they? He said he didn't know if Harry's completely ready. Yeah. Nottingham Forest do have the most amount of crosses into the box in the Premier League this season, which makes you think, would he play Maguire? But if Maguire isn't fully fit, I think he's just going to go with that same back three.
Yeah, I can't imagine him changing this back three. And it is I'd argue that this is our best back three. Obviously, Harry Maguire can walk into, I'm not saying walk into the team, but when Harry Maguire is picked, it doesn't decrease the quality into that back three. I just think he adds something different, and I think Lenny Yoro adds something different compared to Maguire as well. So, I mean, Amorim literally spoke about the way he's going to pick the team is also based on who he's playing against. So if he wants to have maybe a quicker defender in there that can, like Lenny Yoro compared to Harry Maguire, he'll put Lenny Yoro in the team. But if we are going to be, let's say we are going to have less possession, we're going to play against a team like a Liverpool or whatnot, who are going to put a lot of crosses in, he might put Maguire into the team just to make it a little bit more steady in defence. But this back three, I think, is perfectly fine for this game. And I think they can do a very good job. Moving on to the two wing backs. I'm going to start off on the right-hand side. Again, another player who I think early on this season, I think there was a little bit of criticism about how he started off and his form, but I think he's shown and he's proved to everyone now that the reason why we were all asking for him to play or asking for him to start last season, because Amad Diallo, in my opinion, is one of the number one players in this team, and I think the role that he does on this right side, I think it shows exactly what a wing back is supposed to do. And I just think he does his job in every aspect, defensively and offensively. He does it exactly how he's supposed to be doing it. So yeah, I'm going to put Amad Diallo to start on this side. But I want you to kind of discuss your left-hand side, your left wing back.
My left wing back would be Dallo in this game, and the reason it's going to be Dallo, don't come for me, I can already see.
They're on to you.
Why, Beth? Why are you doing it? The reason I'm going with Dallo isn't for any other reason apart from the fact that my preference is I would keep the same team that started against Brighton. And that means everybody. And that means, keep voting on the poll. I don't want to give too much away over Sesko and Mount, but I would keep the same team, and Dallo was part of that team. And when Dorgu came on against Brighton, I'm not going to lie to you guys, he did nearly cost us. That free kick was reckless, could have potentially even been a red card, and I think he needs to find a bit of form first before we start chucking him into starting 11s again. So I'd go with Dallo. I think Mazraoui's really unlucky not to be getting in. I think Mazraoui's a top player, and if it was between Dallo and Mazraoui, for me, I'd go with Mazraoui. But Dallo is part of that team, and he's doing a job there. So I would pick the same team again and I'd start Dallo.
Yeah. Yes, I'll put Dallo in there. I agree with the points you're making. I think it is definitely a position where we don't have a confirmed starter. I think both of them are kind of competing with each other, and I don't think they both kind of hit anywhere near the best that they could possibly play in that position. I just don't think Dallo is a left wing back. I say this all the time. He's just not a left wing back, and he's being asked to play in a position which is just a little bit different to what he's normally used to. So that's one of the reasons why I think he's not hit the heights that we've seen him hit. And I think with Dorgu, similar things in the sense of he's a young, raw, athletic player who has the attributes to play in this position, but the technical ability isn't at the same level, or is at the highest level to really complete that position. And I think especially when you can see what Ahmad's doing, you know what the quality should be like. So it's like we're watching this kind of side of the pitch be our kind of weakness a little bit, just because the quality on the right-hand side is so strong. So I'm going to put Dalot in the team just because I really do think he's going to pick him, just because he has to.
And we want to get it right.
We want to get it right. So let's be honest. So he's probably going to, imagine if he picks Dorgu now just because we said it. But yeah, I'm going to pick Dalot on that side. But what do you think about Mazraoui though? Another player that could potentially play there. We've not seen him play that much recently.
I think the fact Mazraoui isn't starting this team is crazy, because I think it shows how well everyone's doing. Mazraoui is a brilliant player, solid every single week, and injury sort of hindered him a little bit because he's got injured and the team started to pick up form. And when Amorim mentioned there's players that aren't maybe getting the game time they should be based on how they're performing in training, I think Mazraoui falls into that bracket. He was one of the first names on the team sheet and now he's not getting in. I think Mazraoui is a better player than Dalot, like just as a footballer. But Dalot's available and playing every week, and he is become a crucial part of Amorim's lineup, it seems. He always gets picked, and if you're part of a winning team, even if you might be the Achilles heel, which I thought he was a little bit against Liverpool, I thought he had a decent game against Brighton, actually. You know, when you're part of a winning team, it's really hard to kind of get into that. So Mazraoui should be playing, but the team's doing well, so that's why he's not in.
Yeah, and I Amorim spoke about this before as well, about the fact that we've only got one game a week. I think he mentioned it when he was talking about Man Utd recently, that we need more games. The fact that we've got one game a week means that the players that are on the bench, they're not getting opportunities to play, and when they do come on the pitch, it's like, well, they're not played in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I think Mazraoui is one of the players that has also had to deal with that, him not being able to get into the team. I genuinely feel like if he was fully fit, he'd get into that.
Would you start him over Dalot?
Yeah, everywhere. In every position. I think he's I agree, I think he's a better player than him, but definitely as a left wing back. And as well, his left foot is better than Dalot's left foot, so it at least adds that quality to that side of the pitch where you can actually cross in the ball.
Well, just to get some input from our Instagram followers, the United Stand TV on Instagram, everyone. If you want to get involved, we always have interactive content before every game, and you can get involved in the polls, and your votes can be shown in these shows as well. You can watch along with us. Should Dalot start again, or should Dorgu replace him? 68% say Dorgu, 32% say Dalot. Yes, it's a big swing for Dorgu, but that number's actually coming down a little bit now. It was like 97%
yeah, it was.
For Dorgu, and then 3% for Dalot. So Dalot is kind of winning people back slowly but surely. I do think it's key to remember, and he doesn't pick himself, the manager picks a team. He's a right wing back or a right back. He's a right back, really. But he plays better on the right, and he's consistently now playing on the left, which kind of does hinder his game a little bit. But the poll seems to be swinging a little bit more into Dalot's direction. So yeah, interesting stuff. But we're going to go with Dalot because we think that's who Amorim's going to pick. Yeah, pretty much. Going into the midfield, I'm going to put the two players who I think, and we all think, is probably going to play in there. But I want to ask a question though, because in my opinion, these two players, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, I think they've actually played pretty well together. My only problem is, for a 90-minute game, I don't think I've seen them both play to the same level for a whole 90 minutes. 60 minutes. It's a 60-minute job.
60 good minutes we'll get out of both of them together, but either Casemiro gets a yellow card or Bruno maybe falls off towards the end of the game. We haven't seen a good 90 minutes from both of them, but I think individually and as a partnership as well, I think they've done really well.
So do I.
But what are your opinions on Bruno and Casemiro?
I think they were... the midfield is such an important part of the pitch. So when they were both not at their best, we were really struggling. Now they have both stepped up to the plate and playing really well together. It makes the team. It's like leadership, experience and quality all wrapped into one with them two. And don't get me wrong, it has been our weakness in certain games, and the jury's still out on whether Bruno can play that position to the best of what we need. However, I think in recent times, against some really tough opposition, Bruno and Casemiro have been fantastic and have been two of the best players. I really do. Do they fizzle out? Yes. Bruno Fernandes' first half against Liverpool, one of the best I've seen him play. Second half, started going a little bit rogue, tiredness crept in. Casemiro coming off always affects his game. Casemiro, similar. First 60 minutes, fantastic, and then he does start to slow up a little bit. then he can always get a yellow card because he gets a little bit fatigued. So it's just having the players to come in to replace them. But I think they're the best duo we've got. I think they are doing really well. And I think something that massively helps them is the fact that Amorim has adapted the way that he's pressing, and the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo, or Mount and Mbeumo, when they are in the team, are coming back in and they are working their socks off. They are basically coming back in and being 2 extra midfielders, which really helps protect them. And it's a good way of playing. It's starting to help us win games, and it makes us look so much more compact and a lot less easy to just run through. So for me, especially what I've seen of Mainoo and Ugarte as well, I know it's hard when you're only coming on for 10 minutes here and there. Them two are by far our best duo at the minute.
Yeah, and I got another question though. Looking for January is only 2 months away. A lot of people at the start of the season would have said in January we need to go and bring in a new midfielder, and definitely in the summer. Are you still looking in the summer to go and bring in a starting midfielder over these two players, or are you happy with what we've got right for this season? Are you happy with these two players to start every game?
For this season, if they can stay fit, playing 1 game a week, I think it'll work.
Yeah.
If we keep improving on the way that we have been setting up recently, I think it can work. However, this season's a little bit of an anomaly, because for Manchester United, we should not be playing without Europe. We should not be playing without Carabao Cup. We should be having midweek games. If we had midweek games, we'd be absolutely screwed, because them two can't hold up for 2 games a week, especially a year later. Both of them really fit, physically fit, in good shape, look after themselves. But for next season, we need 2 midfielders, really. They're doing really well for us now, and I still think Bruno could carry on. I think Casemiro could carry on for another year as well. But we do need more midfielders, absolutely. But we need to do what we've not done in the past, which is bring 2 midfielders in to kind of transition into that role. Maybe Mainoo or Ugarte might be able to do it, but right now that's not happening. So I think we do, in a short answer.
Yeah.
I mean, just quickly, Mords, on that, we've got some super chats coming in. We have Island Boy Trucker saying, Amorim is doing something different and needed. He doesn't have the players to play how he wants, so he has to adapt to each team at the moment. Patience. I think every good team does adapt a little bit. You have your style of playing, but good managers do adapt to win games. I mean, Jose is a famous one for doing that. You can adapt and still be a top team with a good style of football. Class of 99 says Xerxes over Sesko and Mount, dog you over Dallo. That's wild. Okay, so you'd rather have Xerxes over Sesko and Mount. Wow. Chris Judge says, been years since I've not been worried about all selections. Maguire/Joro, Mount/Sesko, it's all good. It's about how we produce on the pitch these days. So Chris isn't bothered who's picked because he thinks multiple people can do each job, and I think that's a really good point. Rosenray, thank you very much for your super chat. I'll come back to that question in a second because it's a really good one. Lou Macari's Chippy says, I have stomach jitters. Every game becomes more important and intense. Come on, United, let's keep this run of form. Exciting day with the United stand. And Mario Cabrera says, we've got to admit Ugarte has been a flop. Well, it's been 2 years now and he's not in the starting 11. When you pay over 50 million for a player, we expected him to be a starter. It's a weird one with Ugarte, Mords. I mean, I don't know what you think, because he has some games where you're like, yeah, you know what, he can be it. And then he has some games where you're like, oh, he's just not kicking on. Do you think it's a matter of time? Do you think there is a player there that we can work with? Or
I think with Ugarte, I don't think Ugarte will ever be a starter for United. I don't think Ugarte, this isn't even me trying to be disrespectful or anything, but I don't think he'll ever be a starter for a big team. I think he even tried that when he was at PSG, obviously at Sporting before that. But the fact that he didn't make it there as well at PSG, and obviously come to United, I think the quality-wise that he has, he's a good player, and like you said, there are sometimes sparks where we can see this quality come through. But I think if you want to be a team that's competing for big titles, for big trophies, I don't think Ugarte will be your starting midfielder. But every team needs a squad. Every team needs players on the bench that can come in and do a role. Whether that role is to be better on the ball and kind of hold the ball and try and control possession, maybe late on in the game, or maybe that goal might be you need to win the ball back a lot, so you want to bring in midfielders who are very tenacious and are going to be great at tackles and interceptions. Depending on what that game is, will depend on what subs you bring on, and I think Ugarte is a player that can do a role, can do a job, but I don't think he will ever be a starting midfielder for a team that is competing for a Premier League. But that doesn't mean you should sell him. That just means that he can be a good sub for us.
Matt Thoreau said Ugarte needs a run of games. It's so frustrating to see fans write him off. Put him in a run of games next to Casemiro or Manu in the pivot and we'll see what he's all about. Well, let's see. He might get on the pitch today. Who knows? But that's the midfield pivot we're going for. 5 minutes till team news, everyone. So let's get cracking with the front three.
Let's get this moving on. So look, the next player I'm going to put in, again, another player that walked into the team for me, Brian and Bumo. I mean, look, how much are we going to miss this guy when AFCON starts? Because that's going to be a very difficult period. In my opinion, I think he was our player of the month last month. In my opinion, he's been one of the signings of the seasons, one of the players of the season. And I think we're only just seeing now exactly what Brandon Boomer can bring. But I mean, Beth, to answer that question, how much are we going to miss him in about 6 weeks' time when he goes away? Don't.
It's like when, when someone you really love in your life goes on like a big work trip for like a few weeks to another country, and you're just like, I miss you so much. That's what I'm going to be like with Brian and Bimo.
No, I agree. No, it is going to
We've all been there.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe we've not, but sorry guys, you will find love in your life. Let's move on.
But yeah, Bimo, Watson's team. Now the other two, I mean, let's go back to this poll and see what it says. Go on.
Well, I've got two polls. I've got the live community, who you have your say, no matter what we think. So your poll is 85% Sesko, 15% Mount. And then our Instagram followers, which might be some of you guys as well, I strongly recommend you go and follow us on there so you can be involved pre-show as well. It is 88% Sesko, 12% Mount. So Sesko is absolutely killing it. I don't think it's that cut and dry. I would not be surprised one bit if the one thing we get wrong in this lineup is that Mount comes back in. Definitely. Because Amorim loves him and he likes to change it in that front line. However, I do have to agree with all the viewers. I don't know about you, Mords. I would actually stick with the same lineup, so I'd be going with Benjamin Sesko. I thought he had a good game against Brighton despite not getting that goal. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought he had a great game, but it is also hard to say that Mount wouldn't also have a great game, because I think he would. I think both of them have a great game. Again, it just kind of comes back to how he wants to play. He seems to really like having that 3-10s who are a bit more fluid in those forward positions, but then playing Sesko in the game where we do want to go a bit longer. It kind of makes me think though, from what Amorim said earlier about how we might not play long this game, we might try and play through the build up, play through the back and stuff like that. So he might actually change it and I'm not saying drop, but rotate Benjamin Sesko for Mount, just to kind of bring in another player that can actually play football in the middle of the pitch and drop in deep and play like that. So I think you are right. I think the one place that we might actually get it wrong is Sesko for Mount. And we've decided Cunha's just nailed on. We're not even going to have a debate about that one, are we? I think he's proven that he needs to start in these games. And even playing the whole 90 minutes, I think Cunha's a player that you want to see in the last 5 minutes of a game, because he is going to give you that raw energy. He's going to give you that aggression, that even the IQ to be able to hold up the ball, to be able to win fouls, all the kind of stuff that you need later in the game. Cunha's got it. So yeah, I think Cunha starts in this team for me. Yeah, I completely agree. Are you happy with that? Yeah, I mean, it's the same as last week, to be fair. So there's no I mean, we obviously thought Dorgie was going to start over Dallo, but other than that, it's pretty much the same team. Only thing I will say before I bring you back over here, because it's 2 minutes till team news, is interesting stat. Forest have attempted 222 crosses this season, most crosses in the Premier League. And I look back at our away games, and you look at Brentford away. I know that we did lose that game, but Harry Maguire started. That's an away game. Liverpool at Anfield, Harry Maguire started. That's an away game. And then in another away game, where again it's a team with the most amount of crosses, I could see Amorim bringing Maguire back in if he was fit. It just depends on his fitness. But I'm happy with that team. I just thought I'd bring it up, because don't be surprised if Maguire is fit, if he comes in, because he started against Brentford. It didn't work out. He started against Liverpool, and he might start today against a team that's going to pepper us with crosses. But let's see. Yeah, I agree. Let's see what he does. Get yourself over here. We've got team news coming. And we want you over here to discuss it. So let's get your super chats in as well. We have Kev United. Cheers, GGMU. Welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thank you for joining. Caleb Boaty says Amorim has gone out of his way to mention Anderson in every interview lately. He did the same with Cunha last year. It wouldn't shock me if this happens. Yeah, I have noticed it. I picked it up on the presser reaction that I did on Thursday, and I actually have a segment scheduled in the show. It's coming up. You're ahead of me to speak about Anderson a little bit, and Gibbs-White, who he also keeps name dropping as well, because they're two players that are ones that we're going to watch today and see what they're about. I mean, we know what they're about. They're both top quality players that could cause us damage in today's game, but interesting that Amorim is name dropping them. I think you've made a really good point there. And thank you everyone else for getting your comments in. Smash a like on the video. We have nearly 11,000 of you with us as team news is about to drop. So smash a like on the video. We're not even at 1,000 likes yet. When we've got over 11,000 watching, smash a like on the video. It helps the community, it helps us, and share it around and get involved. This is the place you want to be when you are building up to the game for Manchester United to hopefully get their 4th win in a row. So let's see if we can find this team news coming in to the show. Do you think we've got it right, Mords? Do you think we've got it right, community?
Never get it right, let's be honest. Amorim just loves to throw little curveballs out there like that we didn't expect. So I've seen people say think Xerxes going to start. You never know. Amorim might just decide, you know what, let's just try something new today. So, but yeah, I'm confident in the team that we picked anyway.
Mords, I can reveal.
We got it wrong.
For the first time in Countdown to Kick-Off history in 2025, we have got the predicted lineup correct. Woo-hoo-hoo. And that lineup is as follows. You have Sedi Lamans in goal for Manchester United. You have a back three of Matthias de Ligt, Lenny Yoro and Luke Shaw. Your wing-backs are Ahmad and Dallo. Your two midfielders are Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. And you have a front three of Brian Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha and Benjamin Sesko. Get in.
Yep.
Get in. And we did it us two.
Yeah.
No Ricky involved in this one.
I think that's the main thing, you know.
To be fair, we would have got it right if we listened to Ricky last week, because he was saying, pick Dallo, pick Dallo. He was WhatsApping me at the time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, to be fair, Ricky does get it right a lot of the time.
But we're buzzing. And well done to you, the community, because you got involved in that. You know, if it was up to us, I might have started giving shouts out for Mount. Who knows? But you guys got us back on track with that poll. No, I would have gone with the exact same team. That's funny. Thank you, everyone, for getting your comments in and voting on the polls. We have done it.
Yeah.
Accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I like the team. I like the team. There was only like one or two plays, which I mean, you know what Amorim's like. He's going to bring in Maguire for someone at some point. He always makes that defensive change, and he always brings on Dorgu at some point as well. So I think he's going to make that change as well. I think it'd be interesting though, because the subs that he made last week, in my opinion, were part of the reason why we almost threw the game away. So I think it'd be really interesting what subs he makes and when he makes them. That will really show how we finish the game, and if he has kind of learned from, I think, the mistake that he made last week with those subs.
Yeah, do you want to know the Forest lineup?
Yeah.
So we have Sells in goal, we have Savona, Murillo, Milenkovic, Williams, Anderson, Douglas Luiz, Ndoye, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Igor Jesus. It's a good team, you know.
Say it again, sorry. My head was gone. Yeah, say it again.
You weren't listening to me, Mars.
No, my head was gone.
Is that what it is? We have Sells in goal. We have Savona, Murillo, Milenkovic, Williams, Anderson, Douglas Luiz, Ndoye, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi and Igor Jesus.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a pretty decent team. The names straight away that are standing out to me are Ndoye, I think he's a good player, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Anderson. You know, we all know how good Murillo and Milenkovic were last year. I mean, there is some good players in there. I mean, form's temporary, isn't it? They're a better team than what the Premier League reflects, which is in the relegation zone. So we've got to be on it. This is what I want, and get in the comments what you guys think. I want Manchester United to go into this game as if they are going to Anfield, as if they are playing Liverpool. That's the mentality I want them to have. Yeah,
I mean, look, you obviously mentioned that they're a good team. Most of these players are the same players that played us last season that beat us. You know, I'm pretty sure they beat us anyway. I think everyone beat us.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, I mean, Murillo, Milenkovic, Sells, Williams, Anderson, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi. There's only a couple players in there that probably didn't play. Obviously, they had Olarrain and those kind of players there. But it's most of the players that played last season. So they're going to be thinking to themselves, we've done this before. I think they beat us at Old Trafford even last season. So they're going to have that mentality of we can go and take this win again. New manager, could be a little manager bounce as well. It's their first home game, you said. So they're going to be coming to this game confident. The reason why I'm saying that is we need to also come into this game confident as well. We've got some players that they've not played against, you know, Mbumo, Sesko, Cunha, Lamens. We've got a little bit of a different team as well. So I want us, like you said, I want us to go into this game with the most confidence to actually go and take the game to them and not be a bit standoffish, to actually have that initiative to be like, okay, we're going to play our style of football and you have to try and beat us. I think
we will do that. And I think the players will have that swagger and that confidence about them based off the last few results that we've had. It's amazing what a string of wins can do for you in terms of confidence. And we've got previous times, United, don't let me down. Don't let me down. I'm getting carried away now. Previous times, I've tried to get that confidence back and be like, oh, this is the turning point. But you look at the team and you just don't see the spine and the character in there. This time, I think we've got players that have spine, have character. Bruno and Casemiro have that in the middle of the park. De Ligt, that central centre-back, captain material. Larman seems like a really calm, cool, collected character that is going to be solid. I mean, I saw some of his comments from midweek. He says it's not about the real highs and the real lows. It's about being a good keeper every single week, no matter what. And I just love the way he speaks. He gets it, even for a young player. And Mbumo, he's maybe not got the most out there personality when he's on the pitch, but he is a super hard worker. He's been there, he's done it, he knows the Premier League. He's just quality on every level. Cunha brings that bite, that appetite. He's at Anfield, we're getting pressured. He's like, give me the ball. He shrugs off Canate. He's got that character about him. He's not hiding. And then Sesko as well, I think, looks like really eager to learn all the right principles, all the right behaviours, the right attitude. So the team gives me a little bit of hope in that aspect as well. So,
which subs would you say would you bring on?
I mean, it's hard to say really. Just speaking of that, the subs bench for Manchester United is Bayinde, Dorgu, Heaven, Maguire, Mazraoui, Mainu, Mount, Ugarte and Xerxes. It's a really strong subs bench. I'm not joking, if every single one of them was starting, you wouldn't really, apart from Bayinde, you wouldn't really So, for example, if Dorgu started, he's been a starter for us. Heaven had a good cameo. Maguire, I mean, he's been really good recently. Good to see him back on the bench, so he is fit there. Mazraoui, excellent player. Mainu, we've seen what he can do for Manchester United. Mount, Amorim started him in some really big games. Ugarte, again, was a starting midfielder. And Xerxes, we were begging him to come back at the end of last season. So that bench is really, really strong. And like you said, it depends on how the game's going. Maguire's going to come on, I think, if he's fit regardless, whether you're defending a lead or whether you want to go and score a goal. But apart from that, I think it really does depend on how are Casemiro and Bruno holding up? Do they need to get subbed? And what position are we in the game? I think, for me, I agree with what you said earlier. I just don't want to see what happened against Brighton. If we are in a strong position, just don't make loads of subs at once because it can disrupt the rhythm and you can put yourself under pressure.
No, I agree. I agree with the fact that we have. So it feels like it changes all the time. Sometimes we have like really great benches and it's like, we can actually bring on 4 or 5 players in this team and they can fit right in. And sometimes it's like, right, our bench is so weak because we have like a bunch of injuries or players aren't available. But I think you're right in the sense of right now we have players that can impact a game. I think Maguire can impact a game on both sides of the pitch, scoring a goal or defending. And I still want to see players like Xerxes. I still want to see players, even Aiden Heaven, that players that probably don't get as much minutes, but whenever we do see them in this team, the cameos are strong, and I still want to see what they can do in this team because it just helps with rotation a little bit. It means that you are a little bit more confident to bring them in, and then it means that if a player like Mount or if a player like Luke Shaw does get injured, we're not just throwing a player into the firing line because they've not played any minutes at all.
Yep. I like that. Interesting stat as well. Ruben Amorim names an unchanged Premier League 11 for the first time. Wow. First time it's unchanged. I mean, that's saying something in itself. Just before we actually speak to a Nottingham Forest fan, I can't wait for his insight. Wolfie is going to be joining us in just a second. Players to watch from Forest side.
Yeah.
Gibbs-White for me is a big one. I think he's such a good player. And, of course, Elliot Anderson, who both players have been name-dropped by Ruben Amorim. I want to run a quick poll, actually, because we're linked to Elliot Anderson. We've run it on Instagram, but I want to run it on the live chat as well. Elliot Anderson or Casemiro? Who would you rather have in your midfield?
It's not obvious, though. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not.
I'll run the poll. Elliot Anderson or Casemiro, I'll let you guys know. And if you could sign only one player from Forest, who would it be?
So you asked me the first question first, or this question?
I'm letting the community decide, unfiltered. I'm asking you if you could sign one player from Forest, who would it be?
One player from Forest, who would it be? If it's just based on like just who I like to see play, it'd probably be either. It's tough, you know. Anderson's obviously one of the main names because of midfielder. We do still need a midfielder going into next season. Gibbs-White, we don't really need a 10. So I'm thinking, do I even need Gibbs-White in this team? But then you look at our weaknesses. Let's say left wing back's our weakness. Then you're probably looking at Williams because he's more of a left wing back, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's a complete left wing back, so there wouldn't really be any point in bringing him in. And then you've got players like I really like Hudson-Odoi as well. I think he's a great player, you know, in my opinion. So. And we don't really have a lot of left-hand sided players, so it is a bit difficult one. But I'm just gonna say Anderson.
Yeah, I would say Anderson for what we need.
Yeah.
However, it pains me not to say Gibbs-White because I think Gibbs-White is terrific. If we hadn't signed Cunha, I would probably say him. But we've got Cunha and Mount, and it's sort of a similar role. I mean, this just shows that Forest shouldn't be where they should be, by the way, because they are in the relegation zone right now. But the live chat, there's like a different player for everyone, so it shows that they have got some good players. Like you've got Milenkovic there, you've got Douglas Luiz, you've got Gibbs-White, you've got Anderson, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi is a great player, like you said. I mean, they've got some good players, so like I said, don't underestimate them. They are a good side, and despite the fact they've started really poorly and there's been some interruption through different managers, like their squad is capable, and we saw that last season. So yeah, don't underestimate them, and let's see how they're going to play against us today. Hopefully, same as they've been all season, which is pretty poor. But we'll have to wait and see what actually happens there with them. But Mordzs, it's one of my favourite times of the show, and it's a time to welcome a Forest fan to give us his insight. And I am very happy to welcome Wolfie from Forest Fan TV. Wolfie, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Beth. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much for joining us. I don't know if you caught us then. Just as before we were introing you then, and we were talking about Forest and how you've got some good players, but your form is pretty poor. So you have lost 6 of your last 7 Premier League matches, drawing 1, including the last 4 in a row without scoring. I mean, it's not going well for you guys so far at the start of this season. I mean, how are you feeling overall, and have you picked up any confidence for today's game?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that.
Sorry.
It's always good to be reminded. And yeah, I caught what you guys were just saying there before I joined. And you are right, on paper, we look fantastic. The team looks quite balanced in all the positions and everything. But just on the pitch, it's not been working. There's been too many off-the-field issues going on with Nuno and his issues with the management, and then obviously Postecoglou coming in for a quick stint, and now over to Dyche. I almost feel like we can't decide what identity we want. What worked last season was that counter-attack in football. We saw a great example of it when we beat you at the City ground with Alanga's goal, running on that counter-attack. And that's kind of participated because towards the end of last season, it got found out a little bit. And then they tried to go for a different direction, bought players who are designed, I think, for a more possession attacking based team. And then you end up with Dyche. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mess off the field. But the players are good enough. They've just all been out of form, barring Anderson and Nico Williams, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to just ask you quickly on the manager front. If you could rank, and it's not that deep, I know Sean Dyche hasn't been in for a while, but if you could rank Nuno and Dyche in terms of how much you would want each manager managing your football club, how would you rank them 1 to 3?
I'd go Nuno for what he did on the pitch. Let's ignore the off-the-pitch stuff for a minute. And then my list would end. The other 2... they're polar opposites in terms of style, but I didn't want either of them.
What are your thoughts on Marinakis? Because he's been very, very involved, and I think a big reason why you've had 3 managers this season. How have you kind of responded to his handling of the club?
Well, I love Marinakis for what he's done to the club. A lot of people forget we were bottom of the championship the season we came up. And then a couple of years later, we find ourselves in Europe. And I love that he's involved. Some would say he's overly involved, But give me that to the Glazers any day of the week. Someone who cares, who's at the matches, who puts his money where his mouth is and all that stuff. Does he go overboard? I don't think so. I mean, it's his club as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of people reference when he came onto the pitch against Leicester last season and, shall we say, had a conversation with Nuno on it. I don't mind that because it shows me an owner that cares. Do I agree with all his decisions? Yes, up until of late. I think Nuno, it was right to sack him for what Nuno said and did for off the pitch, not for what he did on the pitch. But I didn't want Postecoglou and I didn't want Dyche. So he's made a couple of mistakes, but in general, for what he's done for our club, no one can really fault him for where we were to where we are back now being. Well, apart from current position though.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying in the sense of I want an owner that is involved, that wants you to win. And it's kind of like having a fan as an owner. Like, you know, sometimes you do fly off the handle, you are a bit emotional as an owner, sometimes you do have to control that, but someone that cares is something that you like to see as a fan. Of course it is, and we've kind of had the opposite for many years now. Hopefully Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos can kind of inject that feeling into our club, maybe in a different way. But yeah, I mean, Sean Dyche is the recent appointment for you guys. From what you've said so far, I don't know if you're mad keen on him, but I know he's managed a couple of games now. What are your first impressions, and do you think he can have a successful season?
I think what Dyche has done well is when Postecoglou was in charge, I'd say the majority of the fan base were not wanting him or behind him. And I'm sure you guys saw it where our own home fans were singing Sacked in the Morning when we lost to Midtjylland in the Europa League. So there was a very big kind of disconnect between the fan base and what was going on with the manager. So straight away, Sean Dyche was able to come in. They did a massive PR campaign on Dyche coming in. We saw the social media posts, everyone being reminded he was a trainee at Forest who never actually played. He brought in Ian Wone and Steve Stone as his backroom staff who are ex-Forest players. So he was able quickly to get everyone on side in terms of the unity between the fans and the club. So he's done that well. He also got us very organised against Porto. Against Porto, we played really well. It kind of started to look a bit like we were doing last season under Nuno. So that start was good. But then we played Bournemouth at the weekend, who are our bogey team. We haven't beaten them since 2015. So I don't know how much you can take from that game, but we were atrocious, especially in that first half. Bournemouth, who are having a good season, just schooled us. Their press was too much for us. We played too deep. So the only thing I'm holding on to for this game is the fact that it's the first time for most of the season where we've had a whole week without European football or midweek games. And Dyche, would have been able to get a whole week's worth of training into the players. Now, how does that impact them? Are they ready for it today? I would like to hope so. I think one thing Dyche does well is his home form is always better than his away form. So if we can get that City grounds being a bit more of a fortress, being a bit more organised, the fans will be on side for this one. The fans are always up for it when United come, as we saw last season. So he started with the right kind of objectives. He's tackled the things that were clearly broken and were easy to fix. So that's what he's done. Now he's got to install into the players and remind them of what they were doing last season, why they are actually good players. Because on paper, I like all the players that are on that team sheet today. But it's a case of can paper transfer to the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. There's some players that play for you that I wouldn't mind signing as well. And I think Mordzs wants to ask you about a couple of them players too.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of questions. But the first one I actually wanted to ask was about your new signings. Now, obviously for United, we've had pretty much most of our signings that we've had this season have played pretty well. But for your signings, I mean, you guys have signed Hutchinson, you signed Jesus, the striker, and Doy. You signed. You signed a few players.
Douglas Luiz, backward. 14, mate. We got 14.
You signed quite a few players. I really want to ask, which players do you feel like have shined, and why do you feel like they've not all been able to gel? 'Cause I feel like they've not really all impressed as much as they probably should have.
Yeah, I think for me, the best player that we've brought in is Douglas Luiz. We've struggled in that midfield. Traditionally, we usually get overrun. He's been injured, though, on and off since he's joined. And Nuno didn't want him. He was an Edu signing. So under Nuno, he didn't get a run of games. He came back into fitness a couple of weeks ago. He played a few games under Ange, and you can just sense that quality, mate. You just know someone who's a proper Premier League player, which is Douglas Luiz. And his partnership with Anderson has started. You can see the beginning of a good partnership there. So I've been really excited and impressed with Douglas Luiz. Outside of that, I'd say Igor Jesus has started well, not brilliantly. He seems to be doing better in the Europa League. He scored about 3 goals in that. But he's a bit like a Chris Wood, where he can hold the ball up quite well, but he has pace to add to that. So those two have done okay. In terms of the rest, I think Savona, who's come in at right back because Einar is injured, who is probably one of our best players. He's done okay coming in there. But to answer your question, why haven't these players been kind of blooded into the team? We don't know. A few of them we think were Edu signings, like Douglas Luiz, like Hutchinson, and a couple of others. The rest, they've not really been given a chance yet to come into this team. And there's a few I want to see. I want to see how McAtee will do, how Hutchinson will do. I mean, he was our biggest spend this summer at nearly 40 million. And he was omitted from the Europa League squad by Nuno. So there's a lot of politics going on behind the stage at Forest. But we haven't seen the best of many of them. If I'm honest with you, mate, maybe Douglas Luiz, and he still hasn't come into full kind of sharpness yet.
I'm surprised about Hutchinson. I actually forgot he played for you, but I remember when he signed, I thought, yeah, that's pricey, but he was a good player. I mean, he still is a good player. I'm surprised at that one.
Yeah, McAtee as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player as well. Another player that hasn't really. I mean, he's not starting today, is he? I don't think I've seen him.
No, he's on the bench. He was omitted from the bench last week. I think his one start was in the League Cup against Swansea, where we famously blew it in the last 10 minutes from 2-0 lead. And he didn't look fantastic in those games. But we know he's Prem proven. He's played for Man City, Champions League games as well. And yeah, I'd quite like to see him, because at the moment my biggest frustration is players like Morgan Gibbs-White. So I think Morgan Gibbs-White is giving himself, he's almost an automatic signing. He reminds me a lot of how you guys react to Bruno, where I don't know how to describe him. Like, if you're watching Match of the Day or the highlights reel, Morgan Gibbs-White will be on there with a fantastic 30-yard pass or a back heel or a little, La Croqueta on the skill moves. But when you watch the 90 minutes, his shooting is woeful. His passes are off. He overplays it in our own half. So there is frustration for me from Gibbs-White. But when he's on it, he's right up there as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. So I would have been quite happy for Gibbs-White to have been dropped and given McAtee a chance. I personally would have preferred a midfield 3 against your midfield 2. But he's gone for the 4-2-3-1. So let's see how it plays out. And Gibbs-White is a Man U fan, so he has scored against you in the last couple of games. So hopefully he turns up, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that, and just quickly, I'll give a reminder for both teams, for anyone who's just tuning in. So the Manchester United side is Lamens, Yoro, De Ligt, Shaw, Ahmad, Casemiro, Bruno, Dallo, Mbeumo, Cunha and Sesko. The Forest side is Sells, Savona, Murillo, Milenkovic, Williams, Anderson, Douglas Luiz, Ndoye, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Igor, Jesus. So I want to ask you actually about Gibbs-White quickly before I go into the question that we ask every opposition fan when they come on the show, which is exciting. But I want to ask you, what did you make of his comments midweek? Because I wanted to see how Forest fans would react to that. He was bigging up United quite a lot. You are playing us today. I mean, I enjoyed it. I know Gibbs-White is a United fan. I think he's a really good player. When I've watched him, he always impresses me. But as a Forest fan, listening to him speak about United like that, how did you feel?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see the necessity in doing it. I think because he didn't instigate the conversation. He was asked about United. I think it's quite easy to say they look like they've come in form. We've got them this weekend. My focus is on that, and kind of played the politically correct PR spin to do. I think he went too far talking about this is what the league needs and bringing this back, and United need to be where they are, showing grit and determination and fighting for the badge. Well, I'd quite like to see you fighting for the badge at the moment. So, it was a little bit, and as captain and as the highest paid player at Forest, he just went too far for me. Now, is it offended me? Not really. I mean, he's a United fan. I'd probably speak like that about Forest, but the fact we're playing you, I just think the timing wasn't exactly right.
Yeah, just to kind of clue in the viewers, if you've not seen it, Gibbs-White did a interview midweek, and it's not anything, crazy, but he got asked about United, and because Forest are playing us, and they're playing us very, very soon, and he said it's what the league needs for United to be winning the way that they are. It's good to see them stick with the manager and playing like better football, basically just bigging up United quite a lot. And I just thought, ooh, okay, that is teetering on the line of being a little bit like glazing slightly, but I liked it because I'm a United fan.
Maybe twerking for a move, who knows?
Well, I mean, if we didn't have Cunha, then I would definitely look at that. But lastly, I wanted to ask you, before we move on to the United question, Elliot Anderson, a lot of United fans want to sign him. I know he's only just kind of playing for you guys because he signed in the summer, but since the start of the season, really, really impressed at Forest, got into the England side. What do you make of him, and do you think he can do it at a Champions League club, because that's where we want to be?
Well, he's doing a European club right now, so
yeah,
down step to go to United currently, but he is absolutely fantastic. He's kind of, how you get the jack of all trades, master of none? He's a jack of all trades and master of a few. He's a fantastic 6. He's a fantastic 8. He can play on the left wing as well. His work rates are phenomenal. He's got excellent passing range. And there's not too much you can fault him on. I mean, if I was being overly critical of him, I'd like to see more goals from him. But he's been playing this deeper role, and he's done that at England as well. And I think he's really shone in those England games where he's controlled that midfield. And he's so humble. He's not someone who's ever in front of the cameras. He's really down to earth. He moved from Newcastle to Forest for £13 million because there was a bit of a deal going on there where we sold them our goalkeeper, but it's quoted as 35 mil. And he's a diehard Newcastle fan, but there was no fuss from him coming to Forest. He wasn't looking for a move away from his boyhood club, but he's just so professional. And he embodies what I want to see in players. Someone who just gets on the pitch, does their job, stays out the headlines, a fantastic footballer, and he is destined for big things in his future. I think with all this talk about United, I've seen Chelsea and, Man City, loads of interested clubs in him. I think this is going to ramp up come the summer, because I think it's very likely he makes the World Cup team. And I think clubs, if they are serious about him, will try and move before the World Cup, because I think he will play games for England. He will look good in the World Cup, and that will add valuation onto him. So I think Forest, if they're going to sell him, will want it done after the World Cup to kind of increase his exposure and hype. I think if teams like Man United are coming in for him, they'll want to do it before the World Cup, where they might be able to try and save some money. But the reports are Forest will ask for 100 mil plus, apparently. I don't know how true they are, but those are the reports coming out. Yeah,
I mean, I've seen that. Just to correct myself there, last year, I meant to say last season he signed. Sorry, guys, it was last season, not this season. I said 2024 before, and it was 2023 as well. Sorry, guys.
Come on, Beth.
back in the room. I've got a million questions going through my head, but Anderson signed last summer, not this summer. Mordzs, do you want to ask the all-important question that we asked the opposition fan?
Yeah, I mean, Wolfie, we always ask our opposition fan the same question. The question is, if you could sign one player from Manchester United, from this current team, who would you sign?
Cunha. I wanted Cunha while he was at Wolves. He always scores against Forest when he was at Wolves. I know people were saying, oh, his attitude this, his attitude that. I don't care. The guy is a baller on the pitch. So I would have loved Cunha. There was some very loose links in January that Forest were going to break their transfer record to get Cunha in. It was all paper talk. But for me, it's his versatility as well. You can play him in the 10 as you're doing. You could play him in a 9 if you're stuck. The guy just reeks of pure quality. So for me, Cunha, without a shadow of a doubt, would be the one I take. And I think despite his kind of lack of goals this season, I think he's been playing somewhat decent. He's had a spell out injured, and he got his goal last week. So I think he's going to kick on for you guys. Hopefully not today, but he does have a track record against us. So yeah, that's the guy I'd go for, mate.
Thank you very much, Wolfie. Just to finish off, score prediction?
We win 2-0. Don't ask me for logic behind it. It's just one of those things where I think you guys are getting a bit too hyped up by 3 wins in a row. Yeah, maybe you come back down to earth today. It's a lot of hopium, but we need 3 points.
Do you know what? I respect the fact that you're a positive fan that is going through it a little bit, but you're still backing your club, and slight maybe blind hope there, but you know, Forest have had our number the last 3 times we've played you, so it could happen. I hope it doesn't though. But look, Wolfie, thank you very much for joining us. If anyone wants to go and check Wolfie out, make sure you do, especially post-game, because you are doing content over on your channel, which is Forest Fan TV. So thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season. I want you guys to stay out of that relegation zone. I absolutely do. I like watching Forest, but not today. Not today. We want to go and beat you, but thank you, Wolfie.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your stream.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Very insightful guy. We're on a roll with the opposition fans and the guests now. Yeah.
No,
so
2-0 that was a bit crazy. I'll say that. 2-0.
You say that,
crazy.
but then it might happen. So we can't say it's crazy.
It's okay. Okay, maybe. But I don't think 2-0. Come on, we're gonna score. We're gonna score.
Yeah, surely we're gonna score. Surely we're gonna sore.
But yeah.
I mean, let's get to some of the super chats. Wolfie35p says, one Wolfie to another, you're getting beat 3-1. Matey Boy says, Anderson is living off that one clip where he dribbles out of trouble. He's massively overrated. Wharton is the truth. Wharton is very, very good, but Anderson is also very, very good. He's doing really well. Dakota Holt Sharp says, Forest owner reminds me of a 13-year-old. Hate it for both of us. Don't say that too loudly, because you never know what might happen. But just quickly on that, do you know, he said Anderson 100 mil. I know that's been the report, but I think that's too much, isn't it?
I don't think it is, you know.
You don't think it is?
But
he's 21, to be fair.
Nowadays, 100 mil is like, if you're just a really talented player, everyone's just getting quoted 100 mil. Belabor was 100 mil. Anderson probably go for 100 mil. Wharton's getting quoted at 100 mil.
He's 22 now. He's just turned 20.
Yeah, 22. I feel like it is a lot of money, but I mean, I feel like if you're at a let me not say small, but like small-ish club and a big club's going for you and you are a top player, an international player, I think everyone's just getting quoted at 100 mil now. So I'm not actually surprised, if I'm being honest.
Not surprised? Okay. Ryshat says, oh, please, United is going to win easily. I mean, I'm glad we've got some confidence in the community and in the live chat there. Keep getting your opinions in. I tell you who hopes Manchester United does win today. Well, we'll ask him ourselves. We are joined with Frank, the United Strand. Cannot wait to have him on the show. Frank, welcome. You're getting closer and closer to that haircut.
Hello, yeah, it's looking promising.
It is looking promising. I mean, I'm so buzzing to have you on the show because, I mean, we had you on in the summer. It's been a wild ride. Did you ever think you would get to this point?
Not at all, seriously. Like, it's so hard to even comprehend not just how big my hair's got, but also the following as well.
Yeah, the following is gone crazy. Crazy.
What is it at now? What is it at now?
On Instagram, I think it's 588,000.
I think when we last spoke to you, it was around 300, so it's grown so much already. Just like the hair. The hair's growing as well.
Like 500. I feel like I remember seeing you post like 500k like a week ago or something like that, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, maybe even less than a week ago. It's been insane.
Absolutely insane. I mean, everyone smash like on the video for Frank and also get your questions in if you've got anything you want to answer, for us to ask him and for him to answer. I mean, just quickly before, I've got so many questions to kind of ask about the hair and when it's going to be cut and all that sort of thing. But you are doing this for charity, Frank. It is the Little Princess Trust, and the Little Princess Trust provides real hair wigs free of charge to children and young people who have lost their own hair through cancer treatment or to other conditions. The charity is also one of the largest funders of childhood cancer research in the UK. An absolutely amazing cause, and you can donate with the link that is in the description as well. I mean, how much does it mean to you, Frank, to kind of do this for such an amazing charity as well?
Yeah, no, I think that, they do absolutely amazing work. Obviously, I'm planning to donate my hair at the end of the challenge. But like you said, I'm also fundraising for them just to help them. They're a very small charity, really. But like I said, they do such amazing work. So, anything to help them is absolutely amazing. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I mean, 2 games to go now, and the link for that is in the description, guys. If you want to go and pledge your donation, I will be doing so. And I think it's a brilliant cause. So 2 games to go. Are you confident? That chop is coming?
I actually am. I think I'm feeling so confident that it's actually making me a bit nervous. It's got me all the way around.
It's the biggest game of your life, really. I mean, next week, potentially. But I'm going to ask a question, though. If you were to pick one player in the team to cut your hair, who would it be?
That's a tough question. I think one of the things is that for the donation, it needs to be cut off in bunches. So I feel like there's potential that a few players could kind of get involved and do a bunch each or something. That would probably be the dream.
Yeah, that's it.
I can imagine that. I seen Sonny Larmans mention it midweek. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if there would be any possibility that the United players could come in and cut it for you. I mean, is that? Have you figured out how you're going to cut it? Who's going to do it? Have you got any plans?
There's a lot of talks at the moment, and I'm sure they might amp up if we win or when we win today. It's kind of all up in the air at the moment, but. Yeah, I'll try and make it a big moment.
Well, if we win today, it's going to be that Spurs game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're going to be watching it on the edge of your seat, ready for it to happen. I mean,
it's the biggest week of your life, really.
It really is. How long has it actually been going for now? Do you know?
392 days. Yeah.
392 days. Absolutely.
Started on the 5th of October, 2024.
And the amount of people that, I think every single day people say to me, have you seen the United Strand? Have you seen the guy with the haircut? I mean, everybody speaks about it. I can just imagine, the amount of people that have got in touch with you about it. Have you been kind of blown away by the amount of, one, support, but also maybe some of the big names as well that might have got in contact over this?
Yeah, it's just been absolutely crazy. It's, very overwhelming, to be honest. And I'm sorry to everyone that has to see my face so many times in a day because it's too much for me, so I can't imagine other people.
Benjamin has just said Nottingham Forest. I love that one. It's a little bit like a forest, actually.
I want to ask though, because I want to know the specifics of the rules. So it's not a draw, right? We can't draw. There's
so if we draw today, then it'll be back to 0. If we lose today, it'll be back to 0. But yeah, obviously hoping for a win, and we'll be at 4 out of 5, and it'll all depend on the Spurs game.
I was thinking about it. 5 games in a row to win is actually hard for quite a lot of teams, to be honest, for any team really. So if United do it, not only is it a big accomplishment for you, but it's a big accomplishment for the club in general.
That was one of the reasons behind choosing 5 games. It was kind of like it's a challenge until Man United, we can finally say we're back to winning ways, having some consistent form. So yeah, I feel like I had thought about doing 3 in a row. But yeah, in a way, that kind of happens quite often. But 5 in a row was enough of a challenge. But obviously, it was much more of a challenge than I ever thought it would be as well. I thought it would already be over for sure.
I wanted to ask you, the United Strand is the name that you are going by. An excellent name. Is it a coincidence or is there any inspiration? I need to know.
No, it was a bit of a nod to all of you lot.
We love
that. No, obviously, I've been watching the channel for years. Obviously, I've been a Man United fan for my entire life. So definitely a bit of a nod and just play on words.
Great name.
Yeah, a great name. We already have some comments coming in for you, so we'll get them in. We have a member for 18 months. Big up the United Strand. Felt horrible about that bust up. Yeah, that was crazy, but so much support and so many people rallied behind you, which was great to see. Any ideas as what you might start next if we win against Spurs?
Yeah, so I think that there's kind of an opportunity there now to kind of continue to make content. It was never the plan. I literally just thought, this is a bit of fun. But there seems to be a nice kind of community that has come together. So planning to make kind of more, probably football related content and stuff. One of the things I want to do, one of the main things is do more like match day vlogs and stuff of, obviously I'm living in Spain, so a lot of Spanish football, but also kind of all over the world, hopefully.
I'm excited to see that. When you come back over to watch United, you've got to come and get in the studio and meet us in person. I'd love to.
I'll be bold by then. Are you going bold, by the way? Are you going bold?
Yeah, I think, buzz cut to start with and see how we go after that.
That's going to be crazy.
Little Brian and Bumo tackle. Tarindo says, Beth, we will score 5 goals. We'll see the best of Amorim. Island Boy Trucker says, Frank, who do you want to cut your hair?
I'm open to it, really. I think that, the best thing would be a current player or ex-player. to do it. So yeah, but I think gonna have to kind of see how talks go over the next kind of week.
I get that. I bet you've got loads of amazing options. It's hard to pick one. It's like when you've got a box of heroes and it's like chocolate Christmas. Which one do I go for first? There's quite a lot of good options in there. Yeah. I completely get that from your point of view. I mean, just to kind of wrap up on the positivity that you're putting out there with what you're doing, I wanted to ask you about Amorim, the team. Are you seeing a real difference now? Like, do you feel like the haircut is warranted by the turnaround that we are seeing on the pitch?
Yeah, I do think so. I think that today will be a test in that way where, seeing whether we can be consistent and, continue the consistency. But I think even when we weren't winning earlier in the season, there were still signs that things were kind of happening. And I feel like, we're finally kind of getting to see the results to go with that.
Do you have any questions, Mordzs, before I ask him for his score prediction?
I mean, what are your thoughts on today, though? What are your thoughts on the game against Forest?
I mean, like I said, I'm like almost overconfident. I feel like we got this, but then it's kind of making me a little bit nervous that I'm so confident about it. I just feel like, that's a win for sure. But now, because of that, I kind of feel a little bit like, am I going a bit too far too soon? But I do think that we will win.
So.
I think it is warranted for Manchester United fans to be confident right now. Surely, it is warranted. I mean, last two questions for me was, first of all, what was your favourite game of the season so far for United?
Do you know what? I actually really enjoyed that game against Brighton. It was just like, I don't know, just so many goals to start with, and just felt like kind of it was all flowing. So probably that one. Felt
like the players really knew what they were doing, and we actually went out there and I feel like we completely dominated in terms of how the game was being played, and I really like to see that, especially against such a good side. So I think
even when we kind of slipped up towards the end, I didn't really feel like we were gonna let it go, like as much as I have maybe in past games. So it kind of definitely felt more confident than I have done in a while.
Yeah, I think it's a really good pick. And then lastly, your score prediction for today's game. I'm assuming we're gonna get a good win here, hopefully, one step closer.
Yeah, I've actually gone for a bit of a closer prediction because of the slight nervousness. But so I'm gonna go for 2-1.
2-1 United. That's my prediction, Frank. That's my prediction. I think we're still at that point where we're not completely out of the woods yet. We've got to be cautiously optimistic. And just finally, to wrap up again, if any of you are just tuning in, remember the link in the description for the charity that the United Strand Frank is fundraising for. He is donating his hair to the Little Princess Trust, and again, it's doing amazing work, providing real hair wigs free of charge to children and young people who have lost their own hair due to cancer treatment, and they are also funding cancer research childhood in the UK as well. So an amazing cause. Make sure you donate. I mean, is it affected your day-to-day life at any point? I can imagine it's like quite difficult now.
Absolutely. I mean, I can hardly see anymore.
You need to get a big headband. I bet headband company should give you a brilliant sponsorship. Brand deal coming in there. Yeah. But look, Frank, thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you do get your haircut soon. One, because that means United are winning, and that's amazing. And two, because it's been a long journey for you, a fun one, but it's about time we have something to show for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for taking your time to speak to us.
See you, bro.
Bye, Frank. Oh, brilliant to have him on.
He's probably the most positive United fan
I love
I've
it.
ever seen in my life.
I love the positivity, and it's great to have him on the show. So, and it's an amazing cause as well. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Yeah. I mean, lastly, Mordzs, let's move on to it. I mean, it's creeping up on us. Very, very quick. Player to watch.
Player to watch. Who did I put as my player to watch? I think I put Ahmad.
Yep.
I put Ahmad as my player to watch. Yeah, only because I just feel like, the past few games he's played really, really well. I just want to see him get a goal. I really want to see Ahmad get a goal. And other players, Cunha finally got his goal, and Bumo's been scoring all season. Sesko's got a couple of his goals, so I really want to see Ahmad get a goal. Mine was Cunha because I saw a clip of him last time out against Nottingham Forest where he literally took the ball from the halfway line and scored. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen that. And he's just what he's capable of. I can't wait. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it across the season, but he's looking like a brilliant signing alongside Mbeumo. So I'm excited to see more of Cunha.
Yeah.
And he's notoriously had good games against Nottingham Forest, so that's why I went with him. But you could really pick so many players for today's game. I mean, just quickly, Amorim on Sean Dyche. We need to face a very tough opponent, a manager that has a huge impact when he changes teams, and we need to be ready for a fight.
I just remember Sean Dyche was chatting a little bit about him on the overlap show.
Giving it big.
I remember that actually. I think it's crazy because he was saying that he could come in and do a better job.
Basically.
So Amorim's got a lot of bragging rights today. If he has to get a win, he can't let Sean Dyche say that about his job and then beat him. There's no way. That's crazy.
He said he thinks the manager should be given time. Let's give full context. But he thinks if he came in and played his way, he'd get more wins.
That's crazy. I couldn't let a manager say that about my job and then come and beat me as well. He has to win. He has to
Amorim's got to win for his own pride.
He has to win for your own pride, for your own ego.
Amorim's aura kind of gives me, I'm going to go there and win.
Yeah. But I wanted to say it though.
Yeah. I mean, in his press conference, he did kind of allude to it a little bit. He didn't set himself up to look silly, obviously, but he basically mentioned he can have his opinion, I'll have mine, but I said we'd win in the end, and that's what we're starting to do. Yeah. Score prediction?
I think I went with 2-1, you know.
2-1.
I think I went with something, but I don't think it'll be a close 2-1. I think it'll be like a...
We miss a lot of chances 2-1.
Yeah, like we're gonna dominate the game. We'll play very well. We'll play good. We'll have a lot of chances. We'll probably go 2-0 up, and then maybe like last minute we might just slip up a little bit. We don't seem to finish games very well. That's one thing I realised. So we might concede that one goal later on, but I think we will. Yeah, 2-1.
I've gone with exactly the same. What are your score predictions? Get them in the comments. You can see our panel score predictions and members of the United Stand what they think on screen now. And lastly, some super chats. Malp says that's a Lions meme right there. Carlo Montana says, have you applied for a job at Buckingham Palace yet? Danny In says, it's my birthday today. Would love a happy birthday from you, Beth. Happy birthday to Danny Inns. Thank you very much for your contribution. Hope you have a cracking birthday. D Budge says, Frank is a good sport. That hair's got to go. Tarinda says, Beth, we will score 5 goals. We'll see the best of Amorim. And we have BZZ says, Frank, I want you to know how much we love how positive you are. My girlfriend now watches United games with me because she's invested in your story. I love that. He does watch the show, so hopefully he's still watching. You can hear that message. And we had a super chat earlier that I'll just answer before we hand over to Mr. Goldbridge. I wanted to come back to, and it was, who do you think the man of the match will be today?
Man of the match, let's give it to Cunha.
I think the man of the match today will be Bruno.
I couldn't tell you. There's about 3 or 4 plays that it could be.
Odelit could be. He's been good recently. Who do you think yours will be? Well, that's all we've got time for on Countdown to Kick-Off. Thank you so much, Mordzs, for joining me, the community for getting involved, and of course to our special guests as well, Wolfie from Forest Fan TV and the United Strand. It's been a jam-packed show. Yeah. It's been a cracking show. We broke our streak. We got the predictor right. It's been fantastic, and it's all made possible because of you. So make sure before you head off to Goldbridge's watch along that you smash a like on the video and have your voices heard. We are going to go over to Goldbridge now for the watch along, and I want to get yourselves in there, and I think we should infiltrate the chat with 4 in a row.
Okay.
4 in a row, everyone. Get in Goldbridge's live chat. Stay positive. We have Usman, Kev, myself and Mordzs here for the fans forum after Goldbridge's final score. Hopefully it's a really positive day. Last thing to be said, Mordzs, is...
Come on, United!
Yeah, we got there in the end. Thank you everyone for watching.